Most no-code app projects don't just fail because of bad ideas. They fail because founders get blindsided by the hidden costs and the limits that nobody talks about. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 biggest traps that killed no-code builds. So the first thing that we need to understand is underestimating complexity. So what I mean by this is that most people start with by saying, I'm just going to use a no-code builder and drag and drop and build my app in a weekend, right? But here's the problem. Once we move past the basic and simple apps shown in the examples, things can get complicated fast. Say for example that you want to include user logins, payments and push notifications. Suddenly you're paying for third-party plugins or duct taping multiple tools together in order to make your app work. So how you can avoid this is to define your MVP, the smallest version of your app that solves a specific problem for your customers. If your app, for example, is, say for example, Uber for pets, your MVP isn't future scheduling, maps, reviews, or payments and chats. It's just 1 or 2 features in order to validate the demand for your app idea. The second issue is the scaling costs. So no-code tools are cheap until they're not. So take Glide for example. The free plan might give you 500 rows of data from memory. I may be right or wrong about that, which sounds plenty at first, right? Until your users start adding in a whole bunch of content and then suddenly you need over 10,000 rows. Then your cost jump to $99 a month overnight. So how can you avoid this? So when choosing a platform, don't just look at the starter price. Actually do your research and actually calculate the cost at 1,000 users, 10,000 users, and know your runway before you commit. The third item that we're going to talk about today is the platform lock-in. So this is a really sneaky one that these companies do. So most no-code platforms, they don't let you export the full source code. Your app lives, unfortunately, on their servers. That means if the platform shuts down, changes prices or limits features, unfortunately you're going to be stuck. So how can you avoid this? You need to be clear on your exit plan. If long-term ownership of your app matters, either choose a tool that exports the full source code with options or accept that the no code is just at an MVP stage and not your forever home. Another issue is the maintenance and brokerage, because most people think no code equals no problems at all. But here's the reality. Platforms update, plugins break, workflows stop working after an update, and then also we can't also forget about the hidden cost, which is your time, because every week you're going to need to test out the core flows or test out or troubleshoot issues every single time there's an update. And if you're not technical, you're going to end up hiring someone anyway to do it for you. So how can you avoid this? Budget for ongoing support. Either learn the platform deeply or line up with a partner who can help you maintain it. Treat your app like a living product and not just a one-off build that you can forget about 6 months later down the line. And another mistake is choosing the wrong tool, because another hidden cost is the wasted time choosing the wrong platform. Because I've seen other founders spend weeks bouncing between Bubble, Adalo, Flutterflow, Base44, Bolt. I know there's so many out there trying to find the perfect one. But in the end, they end up building nothing. So how can you avoid this? Don't chase perfect. Pick the tool that fits the version of your app that you want. What I can say is, for example, Glide for simple spreadsheet-driven apps, Adalo for polished mobile apps with store publishing, Bloom or Base44 if you want AI-generated MVPs fast. Just ship the MVP and learn from your customers. So let's zoom out and how can we avoid failure altogether? So if we look at the overall picture, here's the playbook to avoid the overall trap. Define your MVP, 1 or 2 killer features and test them out on the market, nothing more. Check the pricing tiers, know the cost at 1K users, 10K users, or even 50K users if your app even gets that popular. Plan your exit. Treat the no code as a stepping stone, not your forever stack most of the time. And also budget for support, factor in maintenance like you would for any product, just like you factor in like car maintenance for your car every year. So if you approach your no-code app with this mindset, it can be an amazing launch pad, especially with the technologies out available to help you out today. However, if you treat it as like a magic bullet, you're going to end up draining time and money. So most no-code apps failed, not just because the idea was bad, because the founders underestimated the complexity, ignored scaling, and didn't plan for the hidden cost. But if you treat no code as an MVP stage and you plan for growth from day one, you can absolutely succeed with it. So if you've got an app idea but you don't want to get stuck in these traps, this is where I come in to help, where I help founders choose the right tool, map out the cost, and even build the app for you to help you avoid the expensive mistakes and get your app out into the market as quick as possible. If you're interested in learning more about what I have to offer, you can click on the link below to book in a free call with me to discuss how I can personally help you bring your app to life in the shortest amount of time possible. Again, thank you so much for watching today's video. If this video has helped you out a lot, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next video.